Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. This is the place where we connect, we chat, and we create together. And it is a beautiful night out tonight with the sun has shone this afternoon and it's been great. So we had wet snow yesterday, so it's not spring yet, although we keep hoping it is. So let us know where you're watching from, and maybe has spring arrived yet where you are, or are you still waiting for it? You can let us know that in the chat. So today's date is March the 10th. My name is Lillian Kemp with Stampers Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And I just absolutely love sharing with you every Monday night, and I'm so thankful that you come and join me. So tonight's card kind of evolved from something I'd committed to a while back, well, a few years ago, is to use up. I was collecting too much designer paper. So I decided that I was going to start to use it, not just look at it. And I started to use it a lot. And then when I went to do a card the other day, I realized I am nearly out of designer paper. So there is a story of something that I had in my stash, wasn't using, made an effort to do it, to use it, and then I've actually been successful, and I've got my stack of designer paper down fairly low. So tonight you'll see that I'm using scraps from one set of designer paper, and hopefully that will inspire you too. But as I go down to my desktop, what is something in your stash that you need to, I don't know, use more or use more effectively, or maybe you need to use it once again? So what's something you need to put to use that's in your stash? Maybe share that in the comments. If there's nothing, well, at least say hi and let us know you're here. Okay, so let's go down to, whoops, my fingers get cold, and then the phone doesn't like them. Doesn't want to do anything with them. There we go. So we're all set. Hi, Catherine and Karen. Yay, we've got people here. I just need to get set up a little bit. And we are going, ooh, there we go. And I need to make sure that I actually am on, but I must be if I'm seeing your comments. So that's super encouraging. So we are sharing something in our stash that we need to put to use. So let me know what that might be. Or maybe you make good use of everything in your stash and you don't have to maybe do a little something about certain things there. So I was talking with Marilyn and Joanne, my two friends. Sharon's trying to use up her old designer paper, just like me. And it works, Sharon, so keep at it. It works. Talking with Sharon, talking with Marilyn and Joanne, and just about this very thing and about the designer paper. And I said, I seem to have collected a lot of embellishments, so maybe that's the next thing I need to concentrate on. So that being said, just as people are joining on, I have a class that's available right now, and it uses designer paper, and it actually was what inspired tonight's Facebook Live as well. So the designer paper that is used in this class is found online. It's actually found in the scrapbooking brochure. It's paper I fell in love with right away. And I thought, ooh, I think I need to do a class. And then one thing evolved into another. You know how that little journey goes. And so it evolved into a fun fold class, and I'll explain a little bit more about it later. I will put the link in the comments, but just to let you know that this class is being offered. And I've already sold, well, I only have a few kits left. So a PDF or project sheet and video tutorial is available worldwide, and the kits are available in Canada. But I am actually selling out. So make sure if you want it that you act right away. So that being said, just a heads up, it's the time of year when we know that certain colors, the in colors of 2000, I got to get my math straight here, 24, 22 to 24. Anyway, these in colors are going to be retiring, and they are already looking low in the inventory thing. So if you enjoy any of these colors or all of them, make sure you've stocked up on the cardstock. Make sure you've got the ink refill. I've just grabbed an ink refill, but always get an ink refill to go with your ink pad, because then you are good to go for years, actually. So make sure you've stocked up. And of these, do you have a favorite? I have two that I've used a lot. Pebbled Path is likely my hands down favorite. Those of you who know me know I love to pair it with white. I love Boho Blue, and we're using that tonight. And I really quite like Wild Wheat. Actually, I like them all. I've used them all a lot. But remember, if those are colors that you like, you need to stock up now because they will sell out very, very quickly. So that being said, let's look at what I'm going to make tonight. So tonight I'm using the designer paper Mediterranean Blooms, and it's a 12 by 12 designer paper. And this is all that I have left, just a few scraps. I can't even show you whole sheets, but it just looks nice and springy and Mediterranean, really is what it is. So it's got the peaches or the lemons on one side, and then it has your blue Night of Navy, and there's Boho Blue as well. So you can see that here. And so this one you can see I've been cutting out some of the fruit. And this one here, now this designer paper is actually found in the annual catalog, or if you just want to find it quickly, you can go online and just type in Mediterranean Blooms designer paper and it will come up right away. So, I was just going to show you, I keep my scraps with the large sheets, but I keep it in a page protector so I can see both sides, and then I can see right away, there's a piece that will work for what I want, and I can use that, and I see it quickly and easily. So if that works for you, maybe that's how it'll be. So let's start. We're going to take a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, and we're going to cut it in half at 4 1/4. So cut it in half the long way. So we've got it 4 1/4 by 11. Then we're going to do a few score lines. So we're going to score it. I'll put this right here. We're going to score it at 2 1/4. Let me just see here. 2 1/4. 2 3/4. That's why it's not lining up. Get it. I already scored it, but I wanted to show you there. 2 3/4. I'm going to move this down here. 4 1/4. 7 1/4. So all the way out here. I love our trimmer for so many reasons, but one is the arm, and 8 1/2. Now these measurements will all be in the tutorial I share in my newsletter Thursday. So I always share my Monday night project sheets in my Thursday newsletter. So that's a perk for my my newsletter subscribers. So we've got that. Then we're going to bring in 2 pieces of Boho Blue 4x4. So one of the things we're doing here is using the 4x4 as a focal point. And that's exactly what I did in this class. Each of the cards in this class used a piece of 4x4 to be the focal point. So we're kind of carrying on with that theme. So we've got 2 that are 4x4, and then we've got 2 pieces of designer paper. I've just used the same one and flipped it over. It can be whatever you want. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So this square is 1/4 of an inch smaller than this square, and they are going to layer on top of each other. So we've got that, and then we've got a piece of basic white that is 2 1/4 by 4. So let's put those to the side and just do our folding first off. So the smallest panel of your two outside panels is this one here, and that's going to be, believe it or not, your card base or the card back. So let's fold that first. We're going to line up the edges and burnish that fold, because once we get this started, then it's really easy because we're just going to kind of zigzag. So then we're going to fold back. So now you've got this happening. Now we're going over to the next fold, and we're going to fold this way. And then we are going to fold this way. Now I am not sure what this is called. I saw someone call it a double Z because you've got one Z and another Z. So you can call it whatever you want, but there you have it, just like that. And that is a regular card size. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So there is our basic card shape. So we're going to start with this one here, and this is going to fit here. This is where we're going to write our greeting. And I don't have the stamps that go with this designer paper, but I had lots of designer paper pieces. So I cut this out, and I'm going to decorate this, and because of where it was cut out, it's going to fit right there. So you can do whatever. If I didn't want it that big, I could put a little bit less and trim it, but I don't mind it that size. So I'm going to put that on my panel. And I often have a hard time finding enough words to write, so I don't mind filling up the space with pretty things. So how about you? Are you somebody who likes to leave lots of room to write or not too much? There, we've got it like that, and we're going to fasten that right in there. Whoops, I can see it sticking out. I'm going to give it a nudge in. There we go. And I see conversations happening even with the kittens. There are the cats here. That's great. I'm so glad. Excellent. All right. So now we've got this. Better concentrate on what I'm doing instead of conversation you guys are having. So now we've got it like that. Now we're going to put something here. So we're going to take one of our designer papers and this, and that's going to go on the front. So I want this to go on the front. And then the other one is going to go here. And I think, yeah, I think I'm going to use this side. It brings out the boho blue, and we'll go like that. So there we go. I didn't even use 1/8 of an inch here. It's all 1/4 inches. So we've got it like that. Now when we go to, you know what? I'm going to fasten this one down too, and we'll get the eye that can be setting up and drying. How many of you have the Mediterranean Blooms designer paper and have used it? How many have the paper first off? And have you used it? It's a great time of year to use it. So now this one is going to go here, and you're going to slide it in. Well, first of all, you're going to close this and spread that out. So now here, we're going to center it just like that. So it has equal border all the way around, and that way it covers your white panel back there. So we've got an equal border all the way around, and it should not be getting in the way of your fold at all, right? Now, we don't want to put any glue out here because we'll glue our card shut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive here, and then I'm going to put it here. You've seen me do this before, but in case you're new, well, you don't put your finger in the glue. That would be a smart move not to do. So I know that this is going to be in. So I'm not going to go right to the edges, but I know that I can put some here, and that will be good. So now this is going to go like that. I'm going to center it. making sure I'm covering up the white panel on the inside, just in case. So largely I'm looking at my equal borders. I'm also making sure the white's covered. So we've got it like that. So now are you starting to see how this is working? And now we're going to close it up and we're going to fasten this just like we did that one. We're going to put adhesive on one edge. Let's see, is there a right or a wrong way? There, we'll put it here, I think. And we will add some adhesive here. And once again, we are just going to center it. And this time I'm paying attention to these borders here and making sure this is lined up. So there, when it's closed, this is what it's going to look like. It looks like you just have a nice little border, and the boho blue border here brings out the boho blue in here. And then when you open it up, it's going to look like that. And then the rest is just decorating. So we talked about using things in our stash and maybe we haven't used it for a while. One of the things I hadn't used for a while was the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. Now, I did a lot with this when it first came out, and then I kind of forgot about it, and you may or may not have even been aware of it. So it's what you do get when you do it is you get words that are embossed and die cut, and then there are some dies that cut out some extra little things too. So there are wonderful words for any occasion. And when I was cutting them out, I keep my extras here in clear packaging. So I've got all of these, and I thought I need to use some of those. So I decided to bring in the word celebrate. So we're going to use that. But if some of you are saying, well, I don't get how that works, we've got a few hybrid embossing folders now, and I am really, really liking them. But we've got this big die here, and we've got this embossing folder here. We're going to open it up, and on the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo, we're going to put the die. So see, it's kind of locked in. I can't move it. And then we would put paper on it. Now you can put a whole sheet there and get a whole bunch of words at once. Or you could say, oh, I think I just want hello. So I'm just going to cover that up, close it up, and run it through your embossing folder, and you will have a die cut embossed word. So you can go over it with ink if you want to highlight it a little bit. Tonight we've got this gold celebrate. So then I had to stop and think, how am I going to, I better move that. How am I going to use that? So it kind of gets lost there. It needs to be anchored somehow. So what was still on my desk were the textured note dies. These textured note dies are they're one of my favorites. They haven't got off my desk yet. I did make my Get Acquainted sheet finally. So these are the dies. I cut them out in alternating colors so that you could see how they layer here. And you can see the design. They are absolutely gorgeous. And I think it was Roz said she was sponging on the edges and getting some neat effects doing that too. So Roz, if that's the case, maybe you could explain it in the comments there. But some of the patterns repeat, like this and this repeats and this repeats. So they just work beautifully. Well, you know, just like any layering die, you just can't go wrong with them. The arches, that one, stylish shapes. I bet you almost all of us have stylish shapes in our stash. So I decided to bring in one of those dies, those rectangular dies like this, and try it like that and go like that. So that does anchor it. Now, the thing was, I just couldn't decide what choice here. So do we want Night of Navy or do we want Boho Blue for the celebrate? So Night of Navy or Boho Blue, or do you want to say dark or light? which shows off the Celebrate better. I'll put them both on the card. Dark or light? Which one should I use? And while you're deciding, I am going to put adhesive on the back of this one here. Dark or light? Which one should I go with? Dark. Okay, we've got dark. Thank you. Now, if you don't have these, another thing you can do, of course, is just stamp and maybe do embossing. So we're going to just add a bit of dots of adhesive here. There we go. That'll be good enough. Like that. Bring in this. Anchor it down. We could have put it on dimensionals, but we didn't. That's no biggie. So we've got it like that. And now it can go on here. We can center it or we can overlap it. I think I'm going to overlap it. It still looks a little plain. And so I was looking around. I'm really trying to be good about using what I have these days. And I love this gold mesh ribbon. And I thought, I wonder. Now, I tend to just give it a twist and put it under like that. But I wanted to try it. What would it look like if I fold it back on itself? So we've got a loop here. And I will scrunch it up, but I want to see what this looks like. And I think that has potential. So let's, oh good, Roz is explaining, guys. So see what she's reading or writing there. Okay, but I like it to bunch. Whoops, I'm going to put, before I do any more with that, I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of here so I can stick it down. So now I've got this looped over piece. It's just one loop. And I'm going to give it one twist. And then tuck it behind my Celebrate. I can always trim this end off if I want. Now let's just have a little look. Oh yeah, that dresses it up a bit. What do you think? Do you like the ribbon? I'm going to angle it a bit more. Like that. I'll cut some of this off. I think that's going to do it. I'm going to put dimensionals on back there. So let's bring the dimensionals in. And I always use my dimensionals to help hold my ribbon down as well. That'll be good. Why I'm holding my fingers here because I don't want adhesive here. That's going to be overhanging, and I want that to not be gluing the card shut. There, so if we put that on about like that, and we need to give this ribbon a bit of a haircut. Let's see, we'll cut that one down like that. So I'll fold it over. Oh, well, that'll be okay. And there we go. So now we just have a little bit of interest there. We will come back and add embellishments at the end. Take that, put that away. So we've got this, and there. And now we've got this that we can put something on, but we do have to be aware that we want to keep it behind here a little bit. So I also had Oh Happy Day from that same hybrid embossing folder. So I thought, well, this is nice and small. It goes with Celebrate. It could go in here. And then I used our Stylish Shapes to cut out a circle that's just big enough to hold Oh Happy Day. We'll just glue that down. And then it's kind of gets lost on there still. So I cut out another one of those rectangles. So this one is the smallest one here. And we're going to just tuck it behind, and look at it, just makes it pop. So we'll get that, we'll put this down first, and it doesn't matter when it's closed. You won't see it, but when it's open, you might see it. So you can have to kind of figure out your strategy. So that'll look good. Oh, Joan, so glad you're here. There we go. We've got it like that. And because it's going to be on the inside, I am going to keep it flat. I'm not going to use dimensionals. So there we've got, if I fold it back, it's going to look like that. But when it's closed, we've got it like that. When you open it up, it just kind of keeps going. It's just really, really fun. Now, some of those embellishments. Let's put this out of the way here. Let's bring in the butterflies. A lot of you got them for free during celebration. That was so neat, and it fits with this springy kind of card. So let's try this. Let's see, we'll put one here. You like this card, Catherine? Oh, I'm so glad. I really liked it too. I've seen this card made different times. I can't remember if I have ever made it or not before, but it just so fit with my class that I thought, oh, I have to make it, and I've already finished my class, so this will go with it. Now I'm going to put one over here, and it's going to kind of do double duty. Now I could put some more too and have a whole bevy of butterflies, but this way when I open it up, it goes with this here. So it's just like that. So you can see that it really wasn't hard to do, and yet it's very effective. I call it like my Rice Krispie, one of my Rice Krispie cards. When you make Rice Krispie squares, and they always said, just, put some flour on your face. It makes it look like you've worked a little harder than you did. This would be one of my Rice Krispie cards. Also, it's using up my stash. I had these already made. I had scraps of this designer paper. I have some of this boho blue that I want to use. And so I used all those scraps and put it together like that. Joan, you want to watch the replay? You're going to enjoy the replay, I think. It's very, very doable. These two panels here are the same size. So once you get your basic double Z here, you're good to go. So, and remember, the measurements will all be included in Thursday's newsletter. So let me just show you why this card reminded me of the cards from my class. Oh, before I do that, let me show you some other cards that I made with this design. So it does stand up beautifully, and it's like that, but it goes flat in an envelope. So here is another card that I made, and this is that paper that I'm using for my class. So I had some scraps of it. I didn't have a big enough piece for my 4-inch piece, so I tore and pieced two together for that effect. And I have to use my arches, right? It just is so much fun. And the butterflies, and I cut the butterflies right out of the designer paper. So I really liked that. And then I used the arch sideways here, and there we have it like that. Used a little scrap of the paper here. So just, I really like this card design. I could make a ton of them, I think. And then I needed a St. Patrick's Day card. So I took the famous arches. They're also whoops, that's not the ones. I put it somewhere, and made this rainbow. I had this cut out. I showed you when I introduced the arch dies, this rainbow. I had never used it. So here I put it to use, put it on this card here. And then for the shamrock, or for the You Are Magical, that's from that Toadstool, terrific Toadstools stamp set. And I didn't have a shamrock, but I did have lots of hearts. So I cut out 3 hearts, and I just took a little tiny circle and put it underneath so I'd have something to glue it onto. And there I have that card. And when it opens up, here's the rest of the rainbow. And then so what I did was I cut off the bottom of the rainbow and the side of the rainbow. So some of the side went here and some of the bottom went here. So I just had to use all the different pieces. So there is a St. Patrick's Day card, just like that. So now backing it up a little bit, why did this card remind me of the cards in my class? It's because of these 4x4 panels. So each card in my Fun Fold class has those 4x4 panels. So just take a quick look here. So here is one of them. So here's the Fun Fold, and here's the 4x4 panel. Here's another one here, like this. It's a Fun Fold, and it's got the 4x4 panel. And here's another one with the 4x4 panel. And yet another one with the 4x4 panel. So you can see that that 4x4 panel was my theme, and this card tonight just fit right in with it. So thank you so much for joining me. If you want to know anything more about any of these supplies, or if you would like to order, just visit my online store or contact me. The hostess code for right now is right here. We are only going to be using hostess codes for a short little, about another month, I guess, and then they are going to be going away. So we'll explain about that in a little bit. But there's the hostess code. There is my website. And remember, if you like these colors, stock up now because they are going to be going away. That's a guaranteed thing. So, and once again, here is the link to my class. Thanks for joining me, everyone, and have fun. Bye-bye.